video is brought to you by G2A.com for cheap games, MSP and PSN codes. And sponsored by FatalGrips.com. Use the code BUCKS to get 10% off controller grips, cases and much more. Hey guys, how's it going? MasterBucks here and welcome to a brand new career mode series on the channel. I hope you guys are going to enjoy this. This is the future 2022 World Cup Team Series. It should be pretty straightforward, but if you guys need explaining, it's basically I go all the way to 2022 in my career mode, of course, in FIFA 16, and I take control of a whole bunch of different national teams to see what their best team is in 2022. What the team that they'll be taking to Qatar, at the moment it's still in Qatar anyway, but what team they will be taking to that World Cup. And I felt like it was only right for me to start off this series with the one and only England. So, let's take a look at their 2022 World Cup team. So here is England's 2022 national football team. We have got a 4-2-3-1 formation here. Daniel Sturridge up front with Ross Barkley centre attacking mid. Both Sterling and Oxlade-Chamberlain, the left mid, right mid pairing. Dele Alli and Jordan Henderson, the centre defensive midfielders. As well as that, we have Luke Shaw, Chris Smalling, John Stones, Nathaniel Klein, and of course their goalkeeper is still Joe Hart. That is the strongest starting 11 that England have at their disposal. And a quick look at the bench and the reserves, of course. We've got Jack Butland, 83 rated, Phil Jones. We've got Kyle Walker, Theo Walcott still there, Harry Kane, Saido Berahino, Nathan Redmond, of course, I believe that as well. And then Daniel Bentley, a bit of a surprise, Kieran Gibbs, Jack Stevens as well, Ryan Shawcross, and then Welbeck. They're the reserves. That's the whole team. And once again, we'll really quickly go over the team yet again, all the players and everything, so you can get a really good look at the best teams and the best players that they have at their disposal. Jack Stevens is probably the biggest surprise there, considering that he only has a potential of around mid-70s and he's got up to an 83, so he's a bit of a surprise there as well. There's a few other players that have definitely exceeded their potential, but these are the rest of the players that unfortunately just missed out. So you're looking at guys like Solanke, who are definitely good players that could have gotten up there. Maitland-Niles as well. Definitely some young players that still have a little bit of growth left in them and were coming pretty close as well. So we're all moving really quickly because there are tons and tons of players for me to show you, but I still wanted to show you as many as possible, of course. Rolando Aarons, Newcastle boy, came pretty close. Iafora as well, and just a bunch of other really good players, some of which I was a bit disappointed didn't get to their potential, because there were some players here that do have a considerably higher potential than players that have made it into the national squad that have unfortunately just missed out. And some players that I'd probably almost argue I'd want more than others, but still, I took the strongest starting 11 team possible based off of their current overall. That's how I'm going to pick all the teams, by the way, in the future. That's how I pick this team. That's how I pick all the ones in the future. So I don't take players that maybe I don't, so that way there's no favoritism really. I just take the highest overall player possible for each position to get the highest rated team possible, regardless of age, regardless of anything like that, because when it comes to the World Cup, you want the best players you have possible. Maybe you might take a slightly younger player who's not as good as a very older player, a real veteran in their, mid-30s or anything like that. But for this time, I've not done that. I've taken the best players possible, and I hope you guys can understand that. But for now, let's just move on and let's just get into a really quick couple of highlights of this England team. Of course, we'll show you a few highlights and see the actual team in action and then discuss it maybe a little bit further. I felt like how the actual team turned out wasn't too big of a surprise. Like, most of those players did hit around their potential or get to around about their potential in the 6 or so years that we had, or the 6 or so seasons that we had with this team. So I really wasn't too surprised by how the team turned out. There were a few big surprises like that Jack Stevens, that centre-back from Southampton that really only has a mid-70s potential getting into the starting 11 and, pairing up alongside John Stones, as you can see, Ross Barkley, who definitely was one of the players that was always going to get into this team, scores a goal, quite a hilarious goal, basically got an awful shot off right at the keeper, and it just went over him and just somehow completely missed it. I don't know how, but either way. I'm trying to think of a couple of other players that missed out. Obviously, Jack Wilshere and a couple of other players, Eric Dyer and stuff like that, they got close to coming in, but unfortunately just in the end missed out by just an overall or two, really. Could have maybe been a shout of getting in, but still, Jack Wilshere, again, had only grown by about 1 or 2 in the entire 6 seasons. It wasn't really good, as, again, Henderson, one of the players that did start ahead of those players, puts in an absolute beautiful strike, a ridiculous hit in the top left-hand corner, and I'm trying to think as well who got the armband. For some weird reason, it's just sort of escaped my mind. I know who it is, but I'm trying to remember who got the armband. I'm pretty confident it was just given to Joe Hart by default, and I don't know if you would agree with that. Maybe leave in the comments who you think will be the captain in 2012, but still, the other goalkeeper that nearly got into the starting 11 was, of course, Jack Butland, but he was only 83 when we started this 2012 campaign, when we got it underway, so he didn't grow by as much. Obviously, he's got a very high potential to take over the one and only Joe Hart, but still, he unfortunately made it, unfortunately just fell short, going down to the bench. And of course, the other two strikers, the two players I'll talk about, Saido Berahino and Harry Kane, both at the same rating of Daniel Sturridge, but I just went with Daniel Sturridge anyway. But yeah, both Harry Kane and Saido Berahino did very well, and in the end, the team really turned out the way I thought it would. I don't know about you guys, but I was pretty happy with it. But guys, that is the England national team in 2022, of course, according to the FIFA 16 career mode. Let me know in the comments down below, guys, if you agree with the team that FIFA 16 has given us, or what they're predicting will be the team, and of course, who you think should have been dropped, who you think should have been put in, and all that stuff. Leave it all in the comments down below. Hope you enjoyed the new series, guys, and of course, leave who you want me to do next in the next episode. But until next time, have a good one.